Thank you very much, fellow Africans, and welcome to our today's episode of the Change for African campaign. And so, fellow Africans, it's on Tuesday, and on Tuesday, as usual, it's all about our second pillar of the Change for African campaign, where we focus on matters to do with the potential that we have as an African continent. And so, fellow Africans, to help us exemplify our 87th episode about the potential that we have as an African continent, will be the SDG Target 8.7, that is all about ending forced labor, human trafficking, and child labor as by 2025. Remember, it's already 2025 and it's going very fast. So what is the progress? Where are we? This one we are linking this because looking at what is happening in that field or areas concerning that key target 8.7, it is very disheartening because we are in 2025. This was adopted 10 years ago by the United Nations, but then what is the progress? Currently, we are not heading in the right direction, and some of the reasons as to why we're not heading in the right direction in the context of this goal, in the African context, because it's a global thing, but then we Africans and Africa is our business, so we discuss Africa. It is our obligation to find solutions. It's our obligation to spread the awareness. It is our obligation to make sure that we have a progressive Africa. We have the right cohesion of the African youth that can be able to develop Africa, because as we speak currently, over 92 million children, are engaged in child labor. Over 92 million children are facing that, in Africa. And some of the reasons as to why, or this is linked to matters like poverty, the perennial poverty in Africa, the destitute conditions of the African people, many of the African population live in very destitute conditions. So these conditions are forcing the young people of Africa, or the, underage children of Africa, to engage themselves, in very destitute activities, in very, very, ill activities that are actually contribute to their health, being not healthy, in one way or the other. So poverty is one of the things. Weak enforcement, because you realize, speaking about child labor and also human trafficking, these are issues that are still live and well. Because speaking about human trafficking, most people link this to the slavery part of it, because it's whereby actually this has happened in Africa before, whereby one of the African population has actually been taken to other countries, in exile, to go and be as slaves there. Has happened before. But then we have the modern slavery, we have the modern human trafficking, where things happen and people think these are normal things, but they're not normal. Our people are still being taken to other places. So the question remains, in the context of our second pillar about the potential that we have as an African continent, how is potential related to this? A relation of the potential to this, it may seem very complex. It is complex indeed, but then the potential is here because Africa has a potential, to be able to alienate itself from all this quagmire, or all this disheartening situation. How? Because speaking about poverty as one of the causes of child labor and human trafficking, as by 2025, we are really in 2025, and the statistics are not very good, not promising. So it is a thing that there's potential of Africa to be able to, put itself out of this situation in a way that we are able to put in place requisite systems, that can be able, to accommodate and can be able to have a progressive society, a society that is not engaged in activities that are not good, but is engaged in activities that are, they are going to help Africa to be a progressive society. That is now when the potential part of it comes. We have the potential to be able to come out of such situations. We are Africans, man. It's possible for Africa, to be out of such, devastating conditions. So, fellow Africans, speaking about potential in that context, these are very real things. These are things that are live and well. Another problem that is actually bringing out, that is in the context of this goal, or this key target 8.7, is the problem of conflicts in Africa. Why we have conflicts in Africa? We have the potential to end the perennial conflicts in Africa. There is how. This one comes mostly with the engagement of the youth society, or the youth population. We have been having so many discussions surrounding the youth, because let me tell you, there's very one thing that is live and well, that people who are facing these problems, related to this goal or this key target, many of these people are the young people, and also these people, even if maybe perhaps they may not be facing, but the truth is that they are facing, going into the future, these are the people who are going to be there. So what do you expect if we do not take action? It means that these are the same people who are going now to experience the problem. So the very thing is the awareness, people, the young population of Africa, to be engaged in such things and saying, look, we have the potential to be able to come out of this thing. And the potential can be harnessed through our resources. The potential can be harnessed through our education to tell people that, look, there's a problem here and you need to act swiftly so that we can be able to take ourselves out of this quagmire. Because currently, in the real sense, we have the potential. But then what is happening does not define the Africa's real potential. Africa is a land of great potential, and many people try to talk themselves out of that. But it is very true that we have the potential to be able to solve these things. Africa, we can be able to solve these things. That is why we say that the Change for African campaign is a movement aimed at civilizing the African youth. Once the African youth are fully civilized now they understand that this is how we need to go. Now we start doing what we call the practical part of it, making sure that Africa is able now to emerge as a young continent, because we are the youngest continent on the planet. We have the very, the workforce of Africa, it's way far, than you can say. We have a very vibrant society of Africa that can be able to speak for itself and can be able to come up with innovative solutions, related to the current problems that we are facing as Africa. So fellow Africans, allow me to end at that point. Let's meet tomorrow on Wednesday as we discuss about our third pillar of the Change for African campaign, all about the resources that we own as an African continent. Thank you and have a great time. Thank you.